Hello everyone, and welcome to the live stream. I hope that you're all doing good tonight. It's going to be an interesting night for discussion. I have lots of topics that I've been interested in talking about. Haven't gotten a chance to do a video about. Some topics that are rumors, some that are leaks, and some that are just plain old stupid and ridiculous. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a television channel in Spain's Valencia region refusing to air Dragon Ball, not just 1 or 2 episodes, the whole series, due to a law prohibiting content that encourages gender discrimination through stereotypes and sexist roles. We've seen this influx of things being deemed as bad. We've seen this influx in things being deemed as, oh, they're sexist, they're misogynistic, you know, gender discrimination. And we've seen a lot of, cartoons recently be, singled out, targeted. I mean, let's look at SpongeBob. Nickelodeon just decided to remove several SpongeBob episodes, stop airing them, I should say, because they're offensive. They're too mean, too rude. Their content, not child-friendly. But now we've got a television channel in Spain refusing to air Dragon Ball due to laws, which we're going to talk about. We're going to be discussing Cyberpunk. As you all know, I was really excited for Cyberpunk. I was hoping Cyberpunk... You guys can hear me, right? YouTube? YouTube is telling me that there's no audio. There's audio, right? You guys are responding, so I'm going to assume you guys can hear me. We're going to talk about Cyberpunk. There is a lot of Cyberpunk leaks circulating around. A lot of people are wondering if this is real, which I tend to believe this is real, but Cyberpunk 2077 leak hints at 10 free and 3 paid DLCs while fans still wait for patch 1.2. Cyberpunk's been an interesting situation. It was an interesting game. Wow, Cyberpunk was a complete and utter failure. I was really hoping that Cyberpunk was going to be better.
$26.
And I think that...
Let's get the stream off to a great
Thank you for
start.
the $26 donation, Orr. Much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. You know, I still have a lot of hope for Cyberpunk. Even though Cyberpunk launched and it was really bad, I still want Cyberpunk to be a good game. I still am hoping that CD Projekt Red can put in the time and the dedication into this game and make it good. They can fix all of the bugs, glitches, the problems. They can put out a ton of good, free content. And I want Cyberpunk to be good, because even though it launched really terribly, I still think that it could be good. But now there are leaks hinting at free DLC, but also a couple of paid DLC, which I definitely have some strong opinions on, especially with the state that Cyberpunk launched in and the state that Cyberpunk is still in. We're going to be talking about Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett Johansson is definitely an interesting woman, that's for sure. She's a flip-flopper. And, Scarlett Johansson over the past few years has definitely been what we will call pretty woke. Scarlett Johansson has made a lot of political statements. She has been involved in a lot of, interesting situations, like political fundraisers. And now, she is declaring that actors' jobs are not to be political, but to act, which I agree with this. That actors' jobs are to act, to not be politicians. To an extent, I agree with it. Because I do think that entertainment should come first and foremost. And, you should probably care about the industry you're in. But, this is coming just a couple of months before her new movie's releasing, which a lot of people think is pretty related, that she's coming out making statements like, oh, our jobs aren't to be politicians, our jobs are to act, when only a couple of months ago, she was part of a fundraiser for Joe Biden. So I have some pretty strong opinions on that as well. And we're going to be talking about a rumor, which obviously when it comes to rumors, they're rumors. You don't know if they're real. You don't know if they're fake. But I have a sneaking suspicion that this could be real. So the Flash movie that, continuously gets delayed, continuously loses directors, and now there's rumors that they're losing lead actors, could wipe the Snyderverse from DCEU canon, which I think a lot of us really enjoyed this, you know, the Snyder Cut. When it comes to the Snyder Cut, you know, I think that the first movie was, well, the original version of, like, the Justice League specifically was very bad. And I think that Zack Snyder's version of the Justice League was much better. But I still feel like there are plenty of people who thought that the Snyder Cut could have been better. But apparently, there's a rumor circulating that The Flash could wipe the Snyderverse from DCEU canon. So those are the topics we're going to be discussing tonight. But before we get into them, hello everyone. Welcome to the live stream. I hope that you're all doing good. Yeah, for some reason YouTube was telling me that you guys, there was no audio. Like, the audio levels were 0 and bit rates were 0 and all these things were 0, but you guys can hear me, so I guess it's fine. A flip-flopper. Yeah, she's a flip-flopper. One day she's, you know, has one opinion, the next day she's got another opinion. What if they are portraying a politician? Well, that's different, because then they're playing a role. You don't walk around calling someone who's portraying a murderer a real murderer. If you're portraying a politician, then obviously you're gonna be, you know, talking about politics because you're a politician in the movie. But, you know, it's very interesting that she's coming out making the statement that actors' jobs are to act, not be politicians. Imagine if she said that, though. Imagine if she said that, like, well, if you portray there have been actors, which is why that came to mind, there have been actors who have said, like, we shouldn't portray politicians, and we shouldn't portray historical figures, because then you're, like, continuing bad, like, perspectives, and you're putting out bad, I don't remember who it was exactly, but there was one politician, there was one actor that really pushed for that people shouldn't, you know, portray politicians, and it was fucking ridiculous. That's how people are, though. People are ridiculous. Let's call Snyder. Oh, yeah, let's call Snyder. Zack Snyder left us all a turd on a live stream with a charity drive. I mean, people have very mixed opinions on Zack Snyder, and they always have. I mean, there's always been people, no matter if you liked, you know, previous DCU movies or you didn't, or whether you liked Zack Snyder or not, people have always been pretty mixed on Zack Snyder just by his work alone. I think that Zack Snyder's very hit or miss, personally. For, you know, the comments he makes outside of the work that he's creating, and even just the work that he makes in the movies that he makes. I was going to be an ass and tell you I wasn't hearing anything. Well, I'm glad that you decided today was not that day. Much appreciated, thank you. Hello everyone. Scarlett is a giant hypocrite. Scarlett Johansson is a hypocrite. And that's really why I wanted to talk about her recent comments, because when it comes to Scarlett Johansson, oof, she is just... she's a little bonkers. I'm just reading chat, sorry. I think the actor that said that was Kurt Russell. Was it Kurt Russell? I don't remember. There was like one actor, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago at this point, that came out and said that actors shouldn't portray like politicians because it's bad, basically. And then a bunch of people, of course, started like pushing that and going, oh my gosh, you know, look at this big actor in Hollywood. He's saying we shouldn't do it, so we shouldn't do it. I was like, what? Of course we're gonna have people portraying politicians. I mean, we have people portraying murderers. It's because we're telling stories. I mean, even if they're not movies based on people who were real politicians, we're still gonna have those themes in movies. Soon, we're at everything. Movies, entertainment, TV shows, games, they're all just gonna be like... I was gonna say Animal Crossing, but shit, people say Animal Crossing's offensive. Because you're capturing animals. And you're putting them in fish tanks. in cases instead of letting them be free, and you're eating plants and stuff, which is killing nature and space buns. So, I mean, honestly, what game isn't offensive anymore? What movie or TV show isn't offensive by someone anymore? Yeah, Kurt said, okay, so it was Kurt Russell. Maybe it was him that I was thinking. Yeah, okay, it was Kurt Russell. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, there's been a couple of actors, notable actors who have said things like that, but I couldn't remember who the one that came out like 2 years ago and said it. But you guys are saying Kurt Russell, which does make sense, because I actually kind of remember him saying something like that. Do they know acting isn't real? No. No, apparently they don't. Apparently they don't. Okay, Gordy, maybe you could, not spam the chat with "I am your new king." Much appreciated. Take a 5-minute breather, and then come back to the channel. Alright, we're gonna get into the first topic in just a minute. I have a lot of thoughts tonight. Scarlett Johansson, the flip-flopper herself, Miss I'm political but don't be political, Snyderverse potentially being wiped away, censorship, Cyberpunk, tonight's the night that it's time for giant dinosaur versus giant monkey. It's time. Who do you guys think is gonna win? Before we start with the first topic, who do you think's gonna win? Giant monkey or dinosaur? Godzilla versus Kong. Who's gonna win? Put them into chat quick, and then we'll start the first topic. He said they should stay out of politics recently. Did he again? Why? Oh, you're back on another account. Well, no spamming, please. Thank you. Much appreciated. UFO. Oh, here come the answers. They better be the good answers. Zilla. Godzilla. I agree with that. Giant monkey. Oh no, Frank. You're going for the monkey? Oh no. Oh no, giant monkey. Godzilla. Godzilla is the superior choice indeed. I agree. Godzilla is the superior choice. Godzilla don't got no arms. Godzilla has radioactive laser eyes. I mean, I know that giant monkey has weapons and he is very intelligent. I don't see it. I don't see it. I'm sorry. Godzilla? Yes, Godzilla is the right answer. You've all that said Godzilla want a cookie. The monkey lacks ranged options. See, Keith gets it. Keith gets it. I see a couple of Kongs in chat. Oh, how disappointing. You know, you all could have been the chosen ones, but you've decided to be lame. Alright, guys. Let's get this started. Yeah, we'll probably end up talking about Godzilla vs. Kong at the end of stream as well. But let's get into the first topic of the night. So, as a lot of you know, a lot of TV shows have been targeted lately. There's been a lot of networks, you know, canceling shows. There's been networks, you know, who have announced that they're not airing specific episodes of shows anymore just because they want to try to be less offensive. They don't want to air things that, you know, could offend someone now. They don't want to air things that could bother somebody, which I think is absolutely ridiculous, at least in my opinion. But there is now a television channel in Spain's Valencia region refusing to air Dragon Ball due to laws prohibiting content that encourages gender discrimination through stereotypes and sexist roles. I think that this is absolutely ridiculous. Content that encourages gender discrimination through stereotypes and sexist roles. I think that Dragon Ball is hilarious. But if you look at something like this and you only look for negative things, and you only look for something to be offended by, you're gonna find it. No matter what you're looking at, whether you're looking at a video game as innocent as Animal Crossing, or you're looking at a terrible, awful, violent, scary movie, which I don't think those movies are terrible, but if we look at something like Saw, you're gonna find something to be offended by. And now people are finding something to be offended by in Dragon Ball, which isn't that surprising. I mean, Dragon Ball has been a series we've heard quite a few people complain about. But Dragon Ball has officially been rejected from broadcast by a television channel in Spain's Valencia region, with a representative for the channel explaining that the decision had been made in consideration of local gender legislation that prohibits the airing of content that encourages gender discrimination through stereotypes and sexist roles. Just listen though, because they're talking about local gender legislation that prohibits the airing of this type of content. But it's not a very cut and dry situation. So earlier this month, there was a vocal fan campaign requesting that the government-owned television channel basically air Dragon Ball. They were asking, are you going to be airing Dragon Ball? Should we expect this? Should we not expect it? And on March 23rd, Alvaro received an answer to her query as the general management member informed the Valencian Radio and Television Commission that the channel would not broadcast Dragon Ball due to both the series' high cost of licensing, which I think is something we're going to definitely need to dive into, and the region's regulations regarding gender equality in children's programming. So there's two very big reasons here. Now, the first one is high cost of licensing. If you're afraid that your show or that airing the show is going to get you in trouble, because clearly this television channel. Oh no,
Christopher
donation
donated $10.
Thank you for the $10 donation, Christopher. Much appreciated. Thank you. Clearly, this television company is afraid that they're not going to be able to air this show, that they're going to acquire the rights to license this show, to show the show, haha. And they're afraid that it's going to break regulations. It's going to break laws, and they're going to get fined, and they're going to get in trouble for it. So these two things together are very big problems because, first of all, they don't want to break any laws. They don't want to, break any rules, because the region does have pretty strict regulations regarding, content, gender equality, and children's programming. But the second thing is that they don't. It sounds like maybe they're afraid of paying that high licensing fee, so they don't want to put the money towards the high licensing fee if they're not 100% sure if they're going to be able to even, release the show on their network. So that's two very important things to point out here. It says, according to Article 5 of Law 6/2016, the region's governing institution, television networks must adopt through self-regulation codes of conduct aimed at transmitting the principle of equality, excluding sexist content, especially in children's and youth programming. So this is another giant issue. There's so many giant issues with the situation. Through self-regulation, there's no cut and dry, very clear examples of what you can show and what you can't show. It is all through self-regulation. So let's say this channel or this television company decided to put this show on their channel. They paid a bunch of money for it. They put it on there, and then it turns around and they're not allowed to show it. Well, they'd be screwed in multiple different ways. Now, if we look at Nickelodeon, they decided to stop airing certain episodes of SpongeBob recently for multiple different reasons, because they didn't want to be offensive. There was an episode about a panty raid that people found offensive, so they took down or they stopped airing If we look at the situation with obviously the pandemic, there was like an episode that could be, you know, offensive to everyone going through the pandemic right now, COVID-19. This is even worse because this is an entire series not being aired in a country because the company's afraid of breaking the law. And in a way, I understand where they're coming from because they're afraid of breaking the law. They're afraid of getting fined. They're, you know, afraid of paying all this money to go to nothing. But at the same time, they're still, you know, afraid to. They're still saying, well, we're just not going to do it. You know, we've just decided this isn't going to be on our network. It says, the generalist Valencia also states that the public media should feature equal treatment and opportunities for men and women, the use of non-sexist language, and the guarantee of a plural and non-plural image stereotypes of women and men. This, to me, boils down to, it's a TV show. It's entertainment. Everyone's gonna find something to be offended by in anything, okay? There's always going to be those people. I shouldn't say everyone. There's always going to be people, specific people, who are going to look at something and find it offensive. I could look at, you know, a YouTube video and find it offensive where, you know, 100,000 other people might not find it offensive. They might find it funny. Could be the same way. Someone could be in our stream right now that finds my content offensive, yet there's 100 of you here who don't find it offensive. So when you get down to these rules, like, oh, well, you know, it has to promote equal opportunity and non-sexist language, they could say anything is sexist language or sexist content. If they really don't want to show in their region or game in their region, they're always going to find a reason to get it banned. Obviously, that's not going to happen in the United States, but they're always gonna find a reason to get specific content banned or censored. And in this case, they're being very specific. Non-sexist language, you know, guarantee of plural and non-plural image stereotypes of women and men, equal treatment and opportunities for men and women. But scrolling down, it says the document also allows for specialized professional intervention in the field of equality and the establishment of filters and guarantees for the rejection of sexism, with special attention to those aimed at children and youth, both in programs and in advertising, with collaboration of the observatory and non-sexist advertising of the generalist Valencia. Scrolling down, it says, despite their beliefs that Dragon Ball promotes sexism and gender discrimination in a series featuring of all characters Bulma, without whom Earth and the universe at large would have been destroyed a dozen times over. Strong, independent women, though, right? Neither the Valencian government nor the media group have provided any specific instances of such content to support their rejection of the series from broadcasts. Of course, a government's never gonna say, well, this is, you know, you can't air this episode, but you can air this other episode. In this case, the company's not gonna do that. So they've decided, instead of specifying why they're not going to air it, or they could air other episodes, they've just decided to not air the whole entire series. It's just, I'm so sick of this happening, okay? It is getting worse and worse. And we're talking about, you know, multiple places in the world. We're not just talking about one country or one reason that's banning a ton of shows or episodes or games. We're talking about all over the world here. And it's so tiring to constantly see this happen. And in this case, it's not even just like one or two episodes. Like, again, let's look at SpongeBob and Nickelodeon. There were about 5 episodes, which only a couple days ago were taken off air. We're talking about a whole entire series here. Scrolling down, that says Dragon Ball had previously broadcast within the region in the 1990s, at which time it, you know, cultivated a prominent fan base, as seen in the vocal support of the classic anime that still enjoys throughout Valencia to this day. It was airing back in the 90s. It wasn't offensive then. Why is it so extremely offensive now? This is just a giant problem, is that it could be aired for 10 years. It could be aired for 20 years. But we're living in 2021, okay? And in 2021, companies are afraid. They're afraid of being canceled. They're afraid that content on their networks, going to be seen as offensive or a little bit too edgy. So they decide to cancel it all. They decide to hide it all away and act like it doesn't exist, no matter how badly people want it, in this case, no matter how badly people want to see something like Dragon Ball in that region. No. We can't air it because it could be breaking rules. And, we can't air things because they could be seen as offensive, which is so ridiculous. It's a shame to see. It really is. Because we're seeing more and more entertainment, and lately animation, be censored, be banned, be restricted. And if you're a fan of these series, like in chat, if you're a fan of Dragon Ball, this is a very worrying situation to see, because we have one television channel in this region refusing to air it. But their reasoning is because of content that encourages gender discrimination through stereotypes and sexist roles. How many other companies or television channels or stations across the world now are going to look at this and go, oh, we could be seen as hosting less offensive content, so why don't we ban it? Why don't we restrict this series? When one place does it, there's always got to be that place that follows along with it. And then a situation could completely blow up. And it could be very bad very quickly. Who knows if that's going to happen? I'm definitely not saying that it will. I really hope that it doesn't. Of course, I do not think that any show should be banned because some things in them could be seen as sexist or have gender discrimination in them. But when one place does it, there's always that worry that another place is going to do it. So that's all that I really had to discuss with this topic. I mean, am I surprised? No. Am I disappointed? Yes. For sure. It's always disappointing to see content that was previously okay suddenly be deemed as bad and offensive. Yeah, they claimed that the episodes were inappropriate. Right. Even though they aired them, 20 years ago, and there were no problems 20 years ago and 15 years ago. Xenoverse is better than Dragon Ball FighterZ. So long as Japan doesn't start to censor, Vera, it's already happening. This isn't starting a trend. This is following the trend. Well, yes, but I was talking about just the specific show. But I mean, it is definitely following a trend of companies being afraid to air things and companies afraid to, to have content on their platform, so they ban it and censor it and remove it. I love Dragon Ball. I feel like a lot of people love Dragon Ball, yeah. For sure. It's 2020 2.0. Yeah, it is 2020 2.0. What are we supposed to do? Well, we can say screw these companies. Well, I mean, in this case, how many of us are going to say screw this television channel? But when a big company censors something or calls something offensive, we can say it's not. It's offensive to maybe a couple people out there. Don't get rid of our entertainment because one person might find it offensive. The Andromeda Galaxy offends me. Cancel. Yeah, right. Cancel, cancel, cancel. Cancel, cancel, cancel. Someone needs to end cancel culture already. Not one person is going to be able to end cancel culture. Not one person is going to be able to cancel culture. All we can do when we see situations like this is speak up. Have our voices be heard. I mean, that's why I make videos on these topics, because I think that not enough people know about situations. I mean, let's even look at the Gina Carano situation. She got fired, and there's still plenty of people that don't even know about that, even though it's been, talked about on social media for weeks, and people were trying to cancel her for months. There are plenty of viewers of The Mandalorian and of Disney who don't know about the situation, so they don't know that You know, they could be fighting back against these bad things that are going on. To all those people that were happy to see 2020 end and expecting 2021 to be better, yeah, well, I think that it's fine. Everyone, you know, has hope and optimism. I think that hope and optimism's good. But, well, sorry to those of you who were hopeful that 2021 would be better than 2020. Microtransactions offend me. Cancel them? Well, see, that's the problem, is that they make companies money. So, I don't think it's gonna happen. Nice thought, though. Remember, people, to cancel culture. Wait, double negative. You know, it's a very interesting situation. Are you supporting cancel culture if you try to cancel culture? Well, I guess that's something to think about for the evening. Yeah, Disney also put out hazardous hand sanitizer. Yeah, if you guys have Baby Yoda hand sanitizer, throw it the frick away. If you have Baby Yoda hand sanitizer, throw it away. It's not good. No. Chuck it. Don't keep it. Don't use it. You can keep it. Don't use it. Alright, you guys, so let's move on to the next topic of the night, which is Cyberpunk. Now, I did live stream Cyberpunk when it came out. I was really looking forward to Cyberpunk. I was hoping that it was going to come out. I was really thinking, this is going to be a great game. It's going to be big. It's going to be loud. It's going to be obnoxious. CD Projekt Red's a really good company. CD Projekt Red's put out a ton of games that we all love in the past. And unfortunately, Cyberpunk 2077 came out, and it had a lot of bugs, a lot of glitches, was really lacking when it came to content, and overall, it was just disappointing for a lot of people. And I've covered that situation extensively, but it's been a couple of months since Cyberpunk released. Cyberpunk released on December 10th, and it is now, you know, March 31st, or 30th, almost April. We're almost 4 months into 2021, and we're alive. Hallelujah. But we're only just now getting patch 1.2. And a lot of people have been waiting a very long time for patch 1.2. And now, Cyberpunk 2077 leak hints at 10 free and 3 paid DLCs while fans still wait for patch 1.2. We still haven't even gotten patch 1.2, which is something that is a big problem. A lot of people thought that it took way too long. They did end up delaying patch 1.2. It was supposed to be out at the beginning of the month. Or was it was the very end of February. It's supposed to be out at the very end of February. It's the very end of March now. And a lot of people have been waiting just for the game to simply be fixed. And now there is a leak that's hinting towards DLC. Now, DLC can be a good thing. Obviously, I don't want a game to just launch and that be it. Them never update the game, them never put new content in the game, because we see that happen with too many companies. They'll release a game, and then that's it. They'll release it, they'll patch it a couple times, maybe fix a couple of big problems, and they don't care about it anymore. They don't release DLC, they just instantly move on to the next game and the next project. And while hearing about 10 free DLCs is actually a very good thing, hearing about 3 paid DLCs is a very, very big problem, at least to me. So CD Projekt Red has yet to release the much-awaited patch 1.2 for Cyberpunk 2077, so it is not surprising that the developer has yet to discuss its plans for downloadable contents. However, a new leak suggests...
Christopher donated $10.
Oh, thank you for the $10 donation, Christopher. Much appreciated. It says, however, a new leak suggests that there could be up to 10 free DLCs and more paid expansions in the pipeline. So it says, in an original post made by a Reddit user, Epic Games Store reportedly increased its server capacity dedicated for Cyberpunk 2077 from 100 gigabytes to 500 gigabytes. The change appeared to have been made to accommodate for future content. This is really interesting to see that people picked up on this. A lot of the time people don't pick up on things like this, but it says the Reddit user also explained some technical details on how they gathered the information and added that they first came across the alleged list of Cyberpunk DLCs in February. It was rumored back in February February that there were DLCs, that we were supposed to be getting a couple of DLCs. But at that point, we'd only heard that they were going to be free DLCs and there was going to be many free DLCs. But now we're actually hearing that there's going to be potentially paid DLCs as well. So the source noted that there were 18 free DLCs listed when they first discovered it, but that had been reduced to 10 at the time when they posted on Reddit over the weekend. So here it says info on upcoming content update. Yesterday, I made a post that caused a lot of backlash and miscommunication about upcoming DLCs for Cyberpunk. In this post, I will clarify everything to set the record straight. So it says, I originally found out this information in February, but I didn't make a post for it. Let me see here. Okay, so time for the juicy stuff. I just opened up Reddit directly. I just wanted to see if there's anything else, because there's kind of a little bit more. It says, time for the juicy stuff. I also found out some info on upcoming DLCs. Back in February, there were 18 free DLCs listed. Here are the names of them. Hello, what just there? Oh my gosh, the Reddit post moved. Don't piss me off like that. Free DLCs. So here are a couple of the names. Ripperdock's expansion, Body Shop's expansion, a fashion-forward expansion, Gangs of Night City, Body of Chrome, Rides of the Dark Future, The Relic, Neck Deep, Night City expansion, unnamed. 2 of these free DLCs have similar names with 2 promo videos uploaded to the Cyberpunk 2077 channel before the release of the game. I think these 2 DLCs were originally planned to release as part of the base game, however, the devs didn't have enough time. That does sound pretty likely. If they did, release videos a couple of months ago before the release with the titles of these DLCs, it kind of sounds like that is the case, that they were planning on that content being in the base game when the game came out, but they didn't have enough time to finish it. But it says, I found all of this information by myself. Please credit me if any of this info is used. So screenshots of the supposed placeholder DLCs were shared. Like I said, Ripperdock, Body Shop expansion, Fashion Forward. Some of these expansions and DLCs do sound pretty basic. Their names are pretty lackluster, pretty to the point. Ripperdock expansion, Body Shop expansion. We can tell from most of them what the content would be. Night City expansion. But it says the DLCs are listed with 0 price tags, which explains the speculations that they would be released for free. The Reddit user also added that there are 3 paid DLCs found through the Epic Game Store, however. Meanwhile, 2 of the free DLCs reportedly had the same names as 2 promo videos previously released on the official channel. It says, Cyberpunk patch 1.2 getting delayed again. CD Projekt Red has confirmed that the DLCs planned for Cyberpunk, the specifics, including their release window, are still unknown as the developer still needs to address plenty of bugs and improve the gameplay before launching new content. And they had said this back in February. Our goal for patch 1.2 goes beyond any of our previous updates. We've been working on numerous overall quality improvements and fixes, and we still have work to do to make sure that's what you get. I'm really skeptical when it comes to Cyberpunk. Because, first of all, if there's DLC is good. Free DLC is good, okay? If they release a bunch of free DLC for this game, I think that it will help the game, for sure, 100%. I think that it'll bring people back, it'll get people to maybe buy the game, but the DLCs need to be free with how terribly the game went. They need to look at what Hello Games did with No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky was very bad at first. It launched, it was a disaster. No Man's Sky was like, it went from, being super hyped up to being one of the worst games ever rated, and then it shot back up in ratings because they fixed it. They've put in years to this game. They've put in tons of money and time and effort into the game, and they've made it really good now, but it didn't start that way. And all of the content that's released for No Man's Sky has been free, and it's brought players back, and it's gotten people more excited for the game again. Maybe in the future, after we've gotten tons of Cyberpunk content and the game is fixed, they could have Witcher-sized and styled expansions that they can charge for. But they would need to do so much to the game and add so much to it before they could even be close to doing that. So hearing that there's 10 free DLCs sounds good, but hearing about 3 paid DLCs really worries me because they need to go free. They need to release this DLC for free. They need to get people interested in the game again, because for me personally, if they said, here's a Cyberpunk expansion, you have to pay $30 for it, I wouldn't buy it. Okay? The only way at this point that I would monetarily support Cyberpunk is if the game did a complete 180. The game graphically was good when it came out. I thought that graphically it was decent. There were a lot of problems though. Lots of bugs, lots of glitches, lots of problems that made it so you couldn't even progress in the game. The game's optimization was pretty poor. I mean, consoles, you could barely play Cyberpunk on consoles, and you can still barely play Cyberpunk on consoles, let's be honest. They've kind of fixed it, but not as amazing as it could be. And on PC, some people definitely had a very smooth ride with Cyberpunk, but a lot of people didn't. And I think that they're going to be in trouble, okay, if they release paid DLC. I'm just going to be honest. Because we're all going to laugh and go, why would we swipe our credit card on DLC for this game that doesn't run on our console of choice, that barely runs on PC? Why would they expect us to ever swipe our credit card for this game unless they completely fixed it? And I hope that they fix it. At this point, all we can do is hope that they can make this game better and they can turn it around. And I want it to. I want Cyberpunk to be good in the future. I would go back and replay it 100% if they, fixed its optimization, fixed how it ran, if they added more content, if they just made it a genuinely good game like they initially said it was going to be. I would replay it. And I think a lot of people would give it another chance. But if they start throwing out paid DLCs, it's over. They need to hit us with free content, and they need to do it relatively soon. They need to fix the game, fix the problems, make it playable. They need to add new content. They need to get us excited. And it's been months since Cyberpunk came out, and we've heard absolutely nothing about DLC. Even if they slightly teased and hinted at DLC, at free DLC, I think that it would be like, oh, okay, maybe one day we'll give it another chance for people. They need to hit us with content. And obviously making the game run properly, or at all for some people, is the most important thing with this game. But they need to start teasing us with content. Because as far as we know, 80% of Cyberpunk players have already stopped playing the game. That's the rumored percentage for PC. And we've also heard a very similar number for console. Who knows if that's real or not? But even if they have 70% or 60% of players who are gone, which we basically know that it's more due to charts, like Steam charts, they're not going to be able to release paid DLC. Because everyone's, again, just going to laugh at them, and everyone's going to go, fix your fucking game first. Make it playable, and then I'll swipe my credit card. So while I think that free DLC is an amazing idea, and I'm looking forward to hearing about free DLC, they need to go in the direction of No Man's Sky and Hello Games. They can't just hit us with paid DLC. They need to put time and effort and just work into Cyberpunk and make it a good playable experience. And if we look at No Man's Sky, it was a terribly rated game, and now it's got really good ratings because they put years of effort and dedication into it. And I think that Cyberpunk could be good, but boy, do they have a long way to go. So that's all that I really had to discuss with Cyberpunk. There are some leaks circulating about DLC. Oh, it's just a rough situation because free DLC could be good. Paid DLC, no. That will definitely piss people off. So that's all that I really had to talk about with Cyberpunk. Let's wait for Cyberpunk 2088, eh? Yeah. I mean, at this rate. If they can make this a GTA 5 type of game, it would be sweet. It was never meant to be comparative to GTA 5, though. That's not what the game is. I kind of see some of the comparisons that people make, saying, oh, they could make it open world and, make it so that you can do jobs and stuff like that. We've heard from developers that their intention wasn't to make it similar to GTA 5. It was to make it different. I do see some similarities, but even the developers had said that wasn't their initial direction, and that still isn't their direction, so who knows? Cut content, anyone? I mean, they did cut content out of the base Cyberpunk game, yes. They did, and now they're probably gonna try to package it as DLC because they, you know, they need to release content, so the developers were told we need to put out the game as fast as possible. They unfortunately had to cut the content out of it, and now they're just going to be releasing free DLC, and it was supposed to be content that was in the base game, which really also doesn't help their reputation either, because that's really garbage. You should have just waited to release it until all the base content was there, but that wasn't the developer's decision. That was the executives at the company's decision. So we can't blame the developers for that. It's not their fault that they didn't finish it in time. We're talking about a giant game with tons of different features, tons of different content. They could only work as fast as they could work, and the employees were already working overtime for quite a while. They could have delayed the release for another 6 months. I agree that they should have delayed the release. You only have one chance to release a game, and they could have waited to release the game until it was done, but that's not the developer's decision. That's the shitty executive's decision. Yeah, they were already crunching. They were already dealing with a lot, the developers, because they kept being told, finish the game, finish the game, finish the game. So they had to cut content. Yeah, money talks. Bullshit walks. We don't know when the DLC is going to be released. We have absolutely no clue. Who knows? Maybe it's all fake news. Maybe there's going to be like 2 DLCs. Maybe then they won't release DLC. I doubt it. I think that they will release DLC. But, you know. Who knows what it will entail and when it will come out and if it will be paid or free. It better be free, though. Because if it's paid, oh, you're going to get raked across the coals again, CD Projekt Red. And I used to like CD Projekt Red, and I still do like CD Projekt Red to an extent. I think their developers do great jobs and a lot of the time. And I think that they had something going with Cyberpunk. And their other games are great. Cyberpunk just, it needed more time. CD Projekt Red got cyber-fucked. I would have happily waited. I agree. I would have happily waited for Cyberpunk to release in a better state. 100%. 100%. Scarlett Johansson is quite a flip-flopper. Hey, that's my term. I'm the one who said that. CDPR said they'd never engage in crunch, lied, did so, and then still released a broken, terrible game. Yup. Yup. And people still tried to defend them for the crunch. There were not many people who spoke out against CDPR's crunch, saying, oh, well, every company crunches. Crunch is normal in every industry. Yeah, well, they crunched after the executive said they'd never force their employees to crunch during a pandemic, and the game was still bad. It's not like, I mean, I wouldn't take this as an excuse anyway, but it's not like they crunched for like 2 weeks and then the game came out amazing, because the employees, when it was announced that they crunched for the first time, because they were only supposed to crunch for like 3 weeks, and then the game was supposed to come out, and then they ended up delaying it by another month and a half. But a lot of the employees, the developers, came out and said we were willing to crunch for that 3 weeks. So let's say all of those developers were willing to crunch for those 3 weeks, and the game came out and it was amazing. They're fine-tuned, the polishing was done. I feel like we wouldn't have been as upset over it, because the developers, a lot of them said that, you know, we finished the game, it was the way that we wanted, we were happy to crunch, and the game would have came out and it would have been good. And then the product would have shown that time and dedication they put in. But they crunched, they forced their employees to crunch, and then the game came out, and it was bad, and they forced them to crunch for another month than they initially told us, and that these employees initially expected. And it was mandatory crunch, just a lot of different reasons here. A lot of bad things lining up. It's not like the game came out and the employees were so proud of the product and that was that. No. They crunched their employees for like 2 months almost, and the game wasn't even close to being done. And the employees, a couple of developers ended up coming out and saying, well, anonymously, so who knows if it was real. I tend to believe that it was real, saying, yeah, we were disappointed. We were disappointed that we had to cut content and we didn't get to create the game that we really wanted to. And they took heat for it, and rightfully so. I think that any company that's going to do that deserves to be criticized. They lied. Cyberpunk died. I mean, it's true. They lied about a lot of things. Wasn't okay. People were upset. And I get it. I mean, I'm fucking upset about Cyberpunk still. I'm still salty that Cyberpunk sucked. Imagine being a developer on the project. I would be pissed that executives forced us to rush the game and it didn't even come out in a good state. And now the game's basically dead. As far as we know, there haven't been any jumps in player numbers. I'm just checking one thing really quickly, guys. Yeah, so Cyberpunk Steam charts, all-time peak, which was like launch day, was 830,000 players. And right now, there's 14,000 people playing Cyberpunk. There's quite a significant number. I'm trying to... Steam charts, if you could please. And since January, the player numbers haven't gone over 30,000, so... I mean, if you put out a shitty game, no one's gonna go back to it. Anyway, guys, let's move on to the next topic because I don't want to get cyber fucking salty. Scarlett Johansson being a hypocrite. Ladies and gentlemen, would you be surprised if I told you that a Hollywood star is a hypocrite? Probably not. Now, Scarlett Johansson is a flip-flopper. It's my term. I'm gonna trademark it. Don't use my term without giving me proper credit. She's a flip-flopper. One day, she's social justice. One day, she cares about equality and, people's rights, and she's making political statements on Twitter, and she's making statements that normal companies, are making, like trying to virtue signal all the time.
Or an X donated $11.
Thank you for the $11 donation, much appreciated. And the next day, she wakes up and she's saying things like this. Black Widow and Avengers star Scarlett Johansson declares that actors' jobs are to act, not be politicians. Wow. What a statement, Scarlett Johansson. It'd be a shame if we were just to all prove that you're a hypocrite. In a recent interview, Avengers franchise star Scarlett Johansson shared her opinion that by nature of their job, actors are not obligated to act as politicians, but rather only to act. I think that this is a statement a lot of us can get behind, that a lot of people can get behind, that when it comes to actors, you just want to see them act. You just want to see all of the passion that they can put into a project or a character. And there are plenty of people out there that their opinion is that actors shouldn't put their political opinions online because it could end up being divisive. It could end up causing a lot of chaos between fans. But speaking with the UK magazine, The Gentlewoman, Johannson told staff writer Sophie Elmhurst, is that how you say the name, that she did not personally think that actors have obligations to have a public role in society. Scarlett Johansson, ladies and gentlemen, who's starring in a movie coming out in 2 months, if it ever comes out at this rate, about woman power. Some people want to, she continued, but the idea that you're obligated to because you're in the public eye is unfair. You didn't choose to be a politician, you're an actor. Johannson would go on to explain that for actors, your job is to reflect our experience to ourselves. Your job is to be a mirror for an audience, to be able to have an empathetic experience through art. That is what your job is, she asserted. Whatever my political views are, all of that stuff, I feel most successful when people can sit in a theater or at home and disappear into a story or a performance and see pieces of themselves, or are able to connect with themselves through this experience of watching this performance or story or interaction between actors or whatever it is. She added, and they're affected by it, and they're thinking about it, and they feel something, you know? They have an emotional reaction to it. Good, bad, uncomfortable, validating, whatever. That's my job. The other stuff is not my job. And I do agree that I think it's fine if actors don't want to put their political opinions online. I think that if you are an actor or a director or a producer, you know, whoever you are, whatever your role is, just a public figure in general, I don't think that you should be forced to put your political opinions online. It is your choice if you want to put your political opinions online. You know, this statement is one that I don't really believe, because Scarlett Johansson says things like actors' jobs are to act. And actors' jobs are to not be political. She's saying people, you know, actors shouldn't want to cause divide between people. Actors' jobs are to act. But just a couple of months ago, Russo brothers and Avengers stars to assemble for Joe Biden fundraiser. This could be seen as pretty divisive. There are people out there in your audience who might be Avengers fans, who might be, you know, Black Widow fans or Captain America fans or Thor fans that don't want to support Joe Biden. So she's saying now, months later, right before she has a movie coming out, may I add, actors' jobs are not to be politicians. But months ago, she was rallying around political figures. She's Joe and Anthony Russo will reunite with Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, and Mark Ruffalo, not for a new Avengers film, but for a fundraiser in support of presidential candidate Joe Biden. And I think that it's fine if she supported Joe Biden. I think it's fine if you dislike Joe Biden. It's okay. Everyone's allowed to have their personal opinions. But on Tuesday, the Avengers team will reunite and join Senator and Vice Presidential candidate Kamala Harris for Biden's campaigners' Voters Assemble event. The virtual fundraiser, which will also feature a bunch of other people like John. I read the line wrong. Like Paul Rudd and Zoe Saldana, boasts a trivia game and a Q&A with the Avengers cast. And again, I do agree with one line she says here, that you're allowed to not put your political opinions online, and I think that that's fine, but she's trying to play both sides of the field now, and I am in no way saying, you know, she can't express her opinions, and she should be able to without worrying about being fired, like what happened with Gina Carano, but you would expect her to follow her own advice. I just want to see entertainment by actors and by actresses, but if they want to post their opinions online, that's their choice. But don't be a hypocrite. This is the giant issue, is that she's a flip-flopper. A lot of people right now are pretty mixed with this statement because she does have a movie coming out soon, if it ever comes out at this rate, because it's been delayed 3 times. But a lot of people think that she's saying this now in case the movie goes south, in case people don't like it. So that basically, if you don't like it, well, you know, that's fine, because we've heard that it's going to make some pretty political statements in it. It's going to make quite a few, from what we know. It's going to, you know, have a heavy focus on feminism and topics like that. Unfortunately, that's a lot of common themes that are thrown into movies now, very woke topics. But a lot of people think right now she's just trying to cover her ass. She's trying to play, you know, both sides of the field now. The article finishes off, though, with, of course, Black Widow will be available and in theaters and on Disney Plus on July 9th, if it's not delayed again. Let us know your thoughts on social media or in the comments below. I'm curious for chat, because I've seen people very mixed on this. What are your thoughts on her comments? We could chat about them for a couple minutes. Actors' jobs are to act, not be politicians. Again, I think, you know, you shouldn't be fired if you voice your political opinions online. Like what happened with Gina Carano, she voiced her political opinions online, and got fired for it, which is a fucking shame. It's awful that she got fired for posting her opinions online. But my problem is that it's coming from Scarlett Johansson, who one day is about, you know, pushing woke into movies and entertainment. She's about putting political messages into movies. And now suddenly she's saying actors' jobs are to act, not be politicians. Her comments seem very contradicting. I agree. Very hollow. Yeah, I think that's my biggest problem, is that I think some of her statements here are fine, but it's just the hypocrisy in it all. Don't be a hypocrite. You know, stick by it or don't stick by it. I do agree with Chris. I think that she's saying this to get as many people to watch her movie as possible. Yeah, that's, you know, why, like I kind of said, she's trying to play both sides of the field now, so that she's pleasing everyone and that everyone goes to see her movie, and if the movie backfires and there's a lot of outrage, she's trying to make as many statements as possible now, preemptively, in case there is outrage. She's a shill just pandering for likes. I felt like most of you would kind of agree with my thoughts that she's a hypocrite, because, I mean, we've talked about it plenty of times here on the channel, specifically with Scarlett Johansson and even Black Widow, the new movie coming out. Woke doesn't sell, okay? She's saying that actors' jobs are to act, not be politicians. Yet she's, in the past, not taken her own advice. Marketing ploy? I agree. I think that it is kind of a marketing ploy. Gina shouldn't have gotten fired? Oh yeah, 100%. I do not think that she should have gotten fired. I do not think that she should have gotten fired. I've said it plenty of times. I'll say it 100 more times. She put her political opinions on social media. I think she should be allowed to do that if she wants to. I have no thoughts on her. She has no importance. Scarlett Johansson, the woman that's in every single movie ever, it feels like. I think that Scarlett Johansson's been okay in a couple of movies, but I overall don't enjoy a lot of the roles that she's been in, a lot of the movies she's been in. I just feel like she can play some roles really well, and I feel like others, she's just such a miss. She's playing both sides, and that's not cool. I'd have more respect for her if she just said her opinions and she stuck by them. Even if I disagree with her opinions, even if I disagree with the takes that she has, I would have infinitely more respect for her if she just said how she really feels and she stuck by it. If she said, you know, the most wokest of woke things, at least she's sticking by her opinion. But in this case, she flip-flops. She never sticks to one opinion. She says one thing one day and another completely opposite thing another day. It makes me have no respect for her, and I guess I don't really need to have respect for actors and actresses, but I'd like to have respect for them, because it would make it so I'd seek out movies that they're in, and I'd enjoy movies they're in more. Like the movie Lucy, I thought that Lucy was pretty good. Like, I thought that she was a hit in that one. Yeah, Scarlett was good in Lucy. But there are plenty of other movies that Scarlett Johansson's been in that have been very mediocre. I feel like people really just like her because she's attractive. And she is attractive, I guess. But that doesn't mean that she's a good actress. Damn, this beat knocks. I usually listen to the same playlist during streams, specifically discussion streams. Hopefully the music's not too loud. You guys haven't said anything about it, so I'm guessing it's perfectly fine. Let me scroll up really quickly. Her tatas made her a millionaire. I mean, I'm all for seeing more attractive females in movies and entertainment. TV shows, games. I'm all for it. But at least have an opinion and stick with it. Don't flip-flop, please. Marketing ploy? Yeah. Yeah, it is. Yeah, Lucy wasn't trash. I thought Lucy was pretty good. It wasn't like a 10 out of 10, but I'd say Lucy was like... I'd say Lucy was probably like a 7, maybe an 8. I thought it was decent. I'm surprised there are people saying that Lucy wasn't good. Yeah, Lucy was awful trash. I disagree. I actually thought it was okay. It was interesting. It wasn't one of those movies where you watch 20 minutes of it and you instantly want to click off because it's so boring and so lame. Lucy is hardly a showcase of Scarlett Johansson's acting ability. Well, I'm not saying that it was a good showcase of her acting ability, but she usually plays a plank in movies. I feel like she always plays the same type of character, and I feel like I liked Lucy and her in Lucy because she was playing... I felt a character with more depth. Because you saw, like, the visual progression of the character and how she acted. Endgame had better acting from Scarlett Johansson than Lucy. Ooh. See, I feel like Scarlett Johansson's okay. I would not give Scarlett Johansson a high rating as just an actress in general. I feel like there are just so many better actresses that could be in roles that she's been in. Hot take for Scarlett Johansson. I think she's okay. She's not perfect. But, oh, hot take. I know a lot of you guys like ScarJo. She's okay. She's alright. She's replaceable in most roles she's been in. I just feel like she doesn't have the depth of some actresses. Alright guys, so let's move on to the final topic of the night. I was not impressed with Lucy, but if you like it, hey yeah. I'm allowed to like it, you're allowed to dislike it. It's cool. It's cool with me. Works for me. I thought it was okay. I like the progression in it. I felt like the progression was very well paced. The premise of the story was pretty good. Plot was decent. Anyway, Let's move on to the final discussion of the night. This is going to be a pretty quick one. It's a rumor. There's not a ton of information here, but I still wanted to talk over it. I've been enjoying discussing rumors lately, specifically ones about like the DCEU. I've talked about the Snyder Cut several times. There is now a rumor circulating about the Flash and about the Snyderverse. Because the rumor is that the Flash could wipe the Snyderverse from DCEU canon. Now, I'd like to preface this with saying if we ever even get the Flash movie, because the Flash movie's been in development hell, okay? The Flash movie has gone through like 3 directors at this point. They've gone through multiple different actors. This movie just keeps getting delayed. They keep having to, it sounds like, rewrite the story. We've heard about one major rewrite for the Flash. It sounds like there could be many more rewrites that we don't really know about. But it says, we knew it was a risk when it was announced that the upcoming Flash movie would utilize a version of Jeff Johns' and Andy Kubert's Flashpoint storyline. But now a new rumor suggests Barry Allen's solo adventure could retcon or even erase Zack Snyder's established continuity from the overall DC extended universe. This would be disappointing, but would it be surprising? No. This is latest prediction is coming from Geekosity's Mikey Sutton, whose sources tell him that Warner Brothers wants to uncouple or disconnect the Snyderverse from the DCEU. Additionally, in order to make this change happen, Sutton's source reports that the studio will take inspiration from the Flashpoint paradox, the multiverse, and a dash of the 1986's Crisis on Infinite Earths. In Sutton's words, some worlds will perish, giving birth to a new DCEU, with some heroes making the ultimate sacrifice along the way. This is what I don't like to see, okay? Rebirths of the DCEU, let's look at like the MCU. I'm sick of seeing these rebirths, okay? I'm sick of seeing us having 20 different Superman and 20 different Batman. Okay, right now we have apparently multiple different Batmans, okay? We have the Ben Affleck Batman, which we know for the most part is going to be unused because Ben Affleck doesn't want to return as Batman. But we don't know. Maybe he will return. There's been some rumors circulating that he wants to return. We've apparently heard that Michael Keaton will be back as Batman in this movie, The Flash. We've also got the Batman going on with Robert Pattinson. So at least right now we've got 3 different Batman going on. It says in the original Crisis, it was Barry Allen and Supergirl who met such a fate, but the Flash may substitute Ben Affleck's Batman so that he takes one for the team. It sounds like potentially they're willing to erase Ben Affleck's Batman because Ben Affleck doesn't want to return as the role. He's been through enough with Warner Brothers. So Affleck is rumored to be coming back to the role of the Caped Crusader's small cameo in The Flash, and if that's really the case, it's hard to see his Bat's death being meaningful the way it was supposed to be in the proposed Justice League 3. Regardless, he's a lingering issue for Warner Brothers as the studio wants to pass the torch to Robert Pattinson cinematically. His alleged scandals,
Inside
should they
your
be
screen
true,
donated
aside.
$5.
Thank you for the $5
Flashpoint
donation.
could erase Lucy from our consciousness, but I jest. Keep up the live streams, Coordinator.
Thank you for the $5 donation inside your screen. Much appreciated. Thank you, thank you. It says Sutton states that they want Pattinson to be the only Batman in the movies, even though Michael Keaton could be coming aboard The Flash. It was talked about that Michael Keaton was going to be returning during the Flash movie. We got concept arts, and interestingly enough, there was actually a rumor 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, that he's dipping out of the project because of COVID and timing. But it says Keaton isn't meant to spend a long time in the cape and cowl. If he does appear, it's been rumored that he'll retire as Batman and stay as the older Bruce Wayne to mentor new heroes. And then it continues on with like Batgirl being one of those. Snyder, wait, what? Where am I? Oh, sorry. I was reading the related. I got confused. Much sorry, much wow. Just released on the streaming service, Zack Snyder's Justice League is drawing an audience, and despite this, Ann Sarnoff is primed to move on and consider it the conclusion to the Snyderverse canon, which is now an alternate universe. This wouldn't be really surprising. Now, first of all, if this is true, they'd be falling back on the sci-fi trope of time travel to manipulate the DCEU to not make the story canon anymore, the Snyderverse canon anymore. They did it in the DCAU with Justice League Dark Apocalypse War. It ended with them sending back the Flash to fix everything that happened on Earth, you know? A little bit of time travel. Barry Allen here. Time travel can be done well, like with the Dark, but when it's overused, it's terrible. In the Snyder Cut, we saw a lot of Flash, saw, you know, a lot of time manipulation. I'm sure most of you have seen the Snyder Cut at this point, but, you know, he basically had to save everyone twice in the film, and I think that they are going to go in that direction. But again, time travel can be done really well, like with Dark on Netflix, amazing show, but when it's overused, it's terrible. And I'm worried that they're going to continue to overuse it. When Snyder was told that he could create the Snyder Cut, we know that he was told it was going to be a single movie and not the trilogy that he was originally promised, that he originally wanted. So I feel like he did a decent job with the Flash. I felt like he did highlight the importance of Barry Allen in the Flash, but at the same time, we're not going to get any other movies in the Snyderverse from Zack Snyder himself specifically. And a big problem is the fact that he was only told he was going to get a single movie when he returned. So we know that they're done with Snyder. There's never going to be another Justice League 2 by Zack Snyder, Justice League 3 by Zack Snyder. We're never going to see the Snyderverse continue. And it does seem like they plan to leave the Snyderverse where it's at. And they don't want to work with him anymore. So of course they're going to try to manipulate stories in the DCEU to make this not canon anymore, because it doesn't matter to them anymore. They don't have any value in it anymore. If Zack Snyder was the main reason for the Snyderverse, which clearly he wasn't, they're not going to work with him again, and they're not going to bring him back and continue the story that he had. Their point of view is, well, we could just get rid of it. We could just change it. We could retcon it. We could make it disappear. Who knows if that will happen? This is just a rumor right now. But would it be surprising? Not really. I wouldn't be surprised at all whatsoever if this happens. If they wipe away the Snyderverse completely from DCEU canon, I would be pretty disappointed to see that. I would be pretty upset. I think a lot of people would be kind of upset over it, just because we're sick of retcons in entertainment, we're sick of changes, we're sick of seeing great stories being erased or versions of stories being erased. I mean, let's not get into retcons and erasing extended universes, because let's look at Star Wars. When Disney bought Star Wars and Lucasfilm, they wiped away 90% of the freaking extended universe content that existed. But it's a rumor. But it's a very believable one, because if they don't want to deal with Snyder anymore, and they're not going to touch the Snyderverse anymore, I feel like they're going to manipulate it. They're going to change things around, retcon it, or even potentially erase it. So that's all that I really had to discuss in tonight's stream. We talked about the Flash and the Snyderverse. We talked about Scarlett Johansson's Hypocrisy, Hollywood, hypocrisy. We talked about Cyberpunk leaks, and we also discussed Dragon Ball and a television channel, refusing to air it due to laws. I'll probably hang out for another couple of minutes, so if you guys have any questions or topics you'd like me to discuss, please feel free to put them into the chat now. I'd be happy to answer them. And I think it was a pretty successful night for topics. I had a ton of fun. Another 5 to 10 years, they'd retcon it anyway because new stories can't be made. Very true, Oron, very true. Grim says the Flash equals the DC retcon guy. Hate to keep using the DCAU as an example, but there it is. Oh, exactly, yeah. I mean, 100%. Whenever they don't know what to do, they just use the Flash. Whenever something, they could do these crazy, out of these, you know, out of this universes, or even their universes, haha, out of their universe stories, these crazy stories where everything's ruined, and then they could just reverse it all. And be fucking lame like that. Nothing could stay a specific way in DC because of this guy, the retcon guy, Mr. Flash. Great topics, Farah. Well, thank you for stopping by. I couldn't give a hoot about what any of these companies do anymore. Fair enough. I feel like there are plenty of people that still do care. I mean, I still care. But I do think that there are plenty of people who don't care anymore, who just go, I'm just going to watch the entertainment I want. If a story sounds good, I'll watch it. And if it doesn't, you ruin whatever you want to ruin. Oh, Monkey. Okay, guys. Tonight's the night. Godzilla vs. Kong comes out. Who are you rooting for? Giant Monkey? Or, you guessed it, Giant Dinosaur. Who do you think's gonna win, Monkey or Dinosaur? Godzilla's gonna get smashed. Kong is going down. Oof. I like turtles. Well, there's not a giant turtle in the movie, but close enough. Godzilla. Very good answer. Everyone who answers Godzilla gets a cookie because Godzilla is going to win. 100%. Alright, maybe not 100%. I hope Godzilla wins, though. I mean, I'd say watch them be friends in the end, but, we'll see. We'll see. Godzilla, lots of Godzillas. I'm glad to hear those answers that you guys think Godzilla is going to win. Monkey versus Giant Lizard. Of course, the Lizard is going to win, not the Monkey. Godzilla! Oh, look at all those Godzillas in chat. I'm so proud of you guys. My nice, amazing community. Not just agreeing with me because I gave my opinion. And I'm a female. No. Giving your genuine, honest opinions. Even though I see some of you in chat who said earlier Monkey was gonna win. Just giving your nice, honest opinions. They kiss at the end? Now kiss. Yeah. I mean, maybe. Maybe. I couldn't care less, to be honest. Fair enough. Chuck Norris will appear and kick both of their asses. Calling it now. That'd be great. I mean, I could get with a story like that, 100%. It would be an amazing movie. Yeah, Kong usually wins if we're going by past movies. Yeah, but see, we need to be optimistic that Mr. Lizard is going to win this time, okay? I know Kong has, you know, special weapons and he's smart. Dinosaur has laser radioactive eyes. That's cooler. That's so much better. People rooting for Godzilla will be labeled alt-right. Mark my words. I'm gonna screenshot that. And if I see anything like that, I'm gonna say, okay, Star Wars Tragedy was right. Kong has less wins against Godzilla. I mean, judging by the movies, I'm pretty sure that Grimm is right. Hello. We are at the end of stream, but thank you for stopping by. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is better than Magic the Gathering. Oh, you trying to fight? Guys, we're at 99 likes on the live stream. There's 63 of you here. Can one of you just please take a minute? If you enjoyed the live stream, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. Consider donating via Streamlabs. A notification will pop up before the end of stream. Please just give the live stream a like. We're at 99 likes. Don't do this to me. It's got to get to 100. Please and thank you. Zilla flip-flops to Monkey at the end. That's a very intelligent answer. That is a very good answer. We shall see. I swear, if I see a hit piece dumbass article saying if you liked Godzilla, you are alt-right, I'm gonna close my YouTube channel. That's it. Can't even see Monkey versus Lizard. It's all a problem. Well, you're gonna put a label on me? I'm done. I'll bet the farm. Talking about cancel culture, have you experienced anyone trying to take your channel down because you criticized something? I mean, I've had situations happen in the past where I've gotten, like, threatening emails, like, if you don't stop talking about this situation, you're gonna be in trouble. Something bad's gonna happen to your channel, your social media, or your career. I've had that happen before. Recently, no. A lot of hit pieces that come out about people, like, let's look at the Rewriting Ripley one. They don't talk about females a lot of the time that break their narrative. Because if they put someone, so if they try to push this narrative that, oh, all these, you know, male channels are mean to females, and they put, you know, my channel as an example, it would instantly break their narrative. Kongzilla, they fuse. Kongzilla, they fuse. That would be, I'm trying to think, that would be very amazing. Who's getting political now, Vera? Who's getting political? Oh yeah, the Susie Lou situation. Yup, you know what I'm talking about. Ah, that's how I know that you've watched your channel for quite a while. Yeah, the Susie Lou situation. It's going to get worse, Vera, but you'll weather it. I don't care what people say about me. Say what you want about me. I know what I like. I know who I am. I know what I support and what I don't. Go ahead, put me in your little hit piece. I dare you. Godzilla is a female / Wamexan. Well, you can't see you can't say female anymore. That's very offensive because it's got male in it, and we don't wanna do that to women, okay? I mean, Wamexan. Fuck, I'm trying to push a narrative and it didn't work. Female also has male in it, so if you could, like, be, you know, sensitive to the Wamexan out there, that'd be great. I could never be a shill. I could never be a shill. It's too funny. Wamexan. Please. Lord have mercy on my soul. Godzilla and Kong do the fusion dance? This is Pokemon? Yeah, the Susie Lou situation. Who could forget? Well, I mean, there are plenty of people that are subscribed now who weren't subscribed, you know, when that happened almost a year ago at this point. So I understand that there would be plenty of people who wouldn't know the situation. It's just, if you've been around, you're not gonna forget anytime soon. Happened almost an exact month ago. Almost. It was April 18th of last year, so, you know, after a year. There's plenty of new subscribers who haven't, you know, been part of the channel. Really quickly, I want to say, if you guys enjoy my content, please consider checking out Patreon. Please consider becoming a supporter via Patreon. I have to plan out the next supporter-only live stream very soon, which I will be doing. But a great way to support the channel if you enjoy my content is to join the Dark Titans via Patreon or direct donation for just $1 a month. I really appreciate all the support. You get access to a special channel in Discord, our supporter-only chat. You also get access to my monthly supporter live streams, which are very fun. I'm hoping to start doing them twice a month soon, but we're at least doing them once a month right now. So if you guys like the content I create, consider becoming a Dark Titan. All of the links are in the description. If you want to donate via Streamlabs, PayPal directly, if you want to become a Patreon. Also, all of my social media is down there. Join our Discord. We're very active there. Twitch. I have a Twitch channel just for, like, backup mines, Instagram, all that fun stuff. Yeah, Vera, I've been a fan of your channel since 2K19. Microtransactions? Where? 2K. Triggering letter and number. together. Triggering. The microtransactions, they're in my head. $1,000 credit card swipe. Digimon is badass. Digimon's cool. I didn't know that Pokemon could fuse. It sounded like a Pokemon. I mean, I don't think they don't fuse. They can breed, which is a form of fusing. But it just sounded like Pokemon the way that it was said. Like Godzilla and Kong do a dance to fuse. That sounds like a Pokemon. Like something you'd hear in Pokemon. A Pokemon saying. It's gonna be here next year. I'm gonna tell you. Goddess. Oh my gosh. Goddess Zilla versus Queen Kong. I swear, Grim. Keep those bad suggestions to yourself, or else one of these studios is gonna pick it up and they're gonna run with it. Grim, do not suggest Goddess Zilla versus Queen Kong. They will do it. Don't you dare give them any ideas. I'll consider it maybe. Hey, stopping by, you know, supporting the live stream here, stopping by to give the stream a like, watching the videos, joining our community on Discord, following me on social media. It all helps. Simply watching the videos and sticking around for live streams is a form of support, and I really appreciate all of you guys being here. I appreciate all the content that you guys watch and how much you participate in our community. So thank you for that. As a newbie here, who else is part of Dark Titan Enterprises? Do you guys have a live chat with other people talking about things like this? So, on the main channel, we do have a couple of editors for the channel. I am obviously the sole content creator, but we do have a sister channel named Dark Titan Media. It's actually not linked in the description. Oh, it's linked in videos, that's why. We do have a channel named Dark Titan Media where we have other streamers who create content like Bad Boy Roy. Our editors also are over there as well, both channels. We have a Discord community. Anyone can join. The link is in the description. Join our Discord server. We've got like 516 members, 17, maybe 520 now. I don't know. 500 and something members. So we're very active there. We usually have like 100 members on at a time. We have tons of different chat rooms in there because you have the server and then you have different channels. We have video games, comics, manga, anime, retro gaming. We also have a politics channel, news and politics, in case you are interested in those types of discussions. But the best way to be part of our community is obviously stopping by live streams, watching videos, comment sections, but also joining things like our Discord. Yeah, we have a huge Discord. Well, I don't call it huge. I'd call it a very thick Discord server. A big old Discord. Yeah, the big D. I gave it a like before the stream started. Well, that's dedication, Keith. Thank you. I appreciate it. I found this channel over Windblade. Oh, the Windblade model. Yeah, the pre-orders for that actually went up. The sexy Windblade model. Yeah, the pre-orders went up for it a couple days ago. Or 2 days ago, maybe 3. So, Ken, did you order one? It's $50. It's 6.5 inches. That's what she said. It's a pretty nice looking model. It really is. I think it looks good. I haven't pre-ordered one yet, but the pre-orders do not close until May, so I've got plenty of time. Very thick. Thick with a K. No, thick with 2 C's. Star Wars Tragedy. Thicker than a 3090. I don't know what's thicker than a 3090 because holy shit, those things are thick. Anyway, guys, I am going to end the live stream here. Thank you all so much for stopping by tonight. I do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the live stream, please make sure to give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way. Check out the links in the description. You can follow me on Twitter, Minds. I have a BitChute. You can join our Discord server. We're very active there. I tag you all when I go live in case YouTube doesn't notify you of the live stream. We also have a content channel in the Discord where I, post videos. Well, Oron usually posts links to the videos, so all of the content is linked there whenever it's posted. I also post it in general, usually live streams and also videos. I don't ping for videos though. I try not to excessively ping, that's for sure, because Pings drive everyone crazy, and believe me, I understand. Pings, over pings, they drive me bonkers as well, so I get the struggle. But join our Discord, follow me on social media, obviously subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell if you are not already subscribed, and if you have not already hit the notification bell. But with that being said, I am going to end the live stream now. Thank you all so much, everyone, for stopping by, and have a fantastic evening.